Here it is. So, hello, Aviya.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Today we have not live session as we expected because of technical problems, since that Facebook really does not want us to spread information around. But we are happy to do it in another way. And I'm very, very glad to present you today a very, very good blockchain regulatory expert from Israel and the founder of Aviya Law, Aviya Arika.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Nelly.
Are you in Israel now?
Yes, I'm in Tel Aviv right now. We're still not experiencing winter here. It's still warm as usual, and a lot of things going on in the blockchain scene here in Tel Aviv. So it's never boring.
That sounds cool. So tell me, please, what is going on in Tel Aviv around blockchain regulation? So I know that you with your company have a lot of clients from blockchain field, and you help them to overcome all this boring and dangerous stuff around blockchain and ICO regulation. So what is your typical client, and what are the major services you are providing?
So in Israel, there are no blockchain or cryptocurrency regulations, specific regulations yet. They are on the way. The Israeli securities authority is working on has published some recommendations back in March, and they're working on, tailoring some exemptions and some, exemptions to securities laws, which are compatible to fintech companies and ICOs as well. But I'm experiencing the fact that Israel is a very good place for startups. And of course, blockchain is not different. There are many, many blockchain startups here in Israel, in Tel Aviv. But people right now are not necessarily going for Israel as the jurisdiction, a lot of projects. They have their headquarters here, they have their teams here, but they're incorporating somewhere else. I also help them with that. I work, with various jurisdictions, with US, with Malta, Estonia, Lithuania, Liechtenstein, Switzerland. So it's really everything, all options are open in that sense.
So your typical client is Israeli company or the company from other parts of the world who came to...
Yeah, both. My clients are not necessarily based in Israel. I have some clients which are not based in Israel at all. Some of my clients are based in Israel, but nothing is purely Israeli related, even those that are based in Israel. So it's always mixed with some other jurisdictions.
Mm-hmm. And what is actually the benefit of Israeli jurisdiction for these kind of businesses?
Right. So right now, in terms of regulation, again, things are not very clear. I can say that a fintech innovation, let's say an innovation hub, was established back in July by the Israeli securities authorities. I can say that the Israeli regulator is showing some very progressive approaches towards fintech companies, towards blockchain. A lot of ideas are coming out of Israel, and the regulators, they don't want those entrepreneurs to run away and incorporate their companies out of other jurisdictions. So I do see that approach here. Yeah, but again, it's too soon to tell.
Mm-hmm. So actually, is there a reason for the blockchain company to come to Israel to make business there?
There is a reason in terms of the investment scene, which is very strong here. A lot of investors in Israel, a lot of interesting blockchain-focused funds. But the jurisdiction doesn't have to be Israel. It could be be a structure which has an Israeli company with a company elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not mandatory to have an Israeli company to do business with Israel anyway. I see the bigger benefit right now not the jurisdiction, but the human resources here and the investors and the scene, not necessarily from the regulation side.
Yeah, I know Israeli investors are pretty active, not only in this field, but in many others. But why don't we hear a lot of them in, let's say, newsfeed, like in general, every day? Why don't we hear a lot about Israeli investors in blockchain and projects on blockchain?
I think that you know, it's always some of them like to stay low key, and some companies, they have Israeli people behind them, and you know, and the public doesn't even know or is aware of that. But I do see the recognition in the, you know, in the global community, and I do see a lot of Israeli presence in the global blockchain community.
And speaking about ICOs, which as far as I understand, quite a big part of your network and clients. So what is so special about security token models? Can you please elaborate in points?
Yeah, so I think the revolutionary thing about security tokens is that they have the potential to turn securities into an accessible thing. So we're used to seeing securities as shares or bonds usually, which let's say normal people, if you're not an investor, if you're not a finance related person, you would most likely not be into those things. But I think that security tokens, they have something that makes them more accessible. People, they like immediate gratifications, and I think that security tokens have greater potential in providing that. They have the potential to provide that. I don't think the potential is fulfilled yet, but if blockchain and crypto startups live up to their potential, then I think that security tokens are much easier investment for the retail investor, for the person that does not necessarily want to be in it for, you know, for years. It's like comparing a VC, a normal VC, with a crypto fund, right? Crypto funds, their USP is that they don't have the lockup periods. They don't need you to be invested in them for 5 or 7 years to see revenue. And I think that's the beauty of security tokens as well, compared to traditional securities. But I do think that right now there are very big barriers to the fact that to the potential of security tokens, and those barriers are mainly regulatory, the way I see it, because right now crypto startups and token issuers, they don't have the funds or the resources to go public, so they're left with the option of selling their tokens to accredited investors only. And that kind of ruins the realization of the potential, because then instead of making security tokens accessible to retail and to the wide public, you're actually reaching a stage where the market is very focused on institutional investors. So I think that when the day comes that we have proper regulatory regimes for retail investors buying security tokens, that would be a big leap.
Speaking about Israeli investors, what do they in majority prefer? Equity investments or security token offerings participation during pre-ICO or whatever?
Right now, I would say definitely equity investment, because I think that 2018 has been a very rough year in terms of the investment scene. And right now, investors are much more choosy. And the way I see it, the investors at least that I'm seeing around me, they're looking to get some equity usually. But last year it was a different situation. So but that's the way I see it right now.
That is very interesting, and I'm very curious about other details, what is happening on in Israeli market. So Aviya, the last question, at the end of November, on 23rd, 24th of November, you will be here in Switzerland, in Basel, speaking at the Blockchain Leadership Summit. So what will be the topic of your speech? What you will share with the audience? Don't give all the details now, but just...
Yeah, so I'm going. There are many crowdfunding regulations coming up in different European states and in Europe, and also there are some interesting things going on in terms of a lot of security tokens projects. So I'm going to try and cover as many topics as I can related to what I think about crowdfunding regimes, which I think that maybe people in the crowd will find surprising, and the way I see the current fit of securities laws to security token sales.
That is, I'm looking forward to hear you speaking there and sharing all the details and insights. And guys, I invite all of you who are watching this video now to come to Switzerland to join us, to join Aviya and to ask her questions directly during the networking sessions. There will be a lot of cool experts from all over the world and quite a few Israeli investors as well. So I'm looking forward to meet you on Summit. Aviya, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have such a beautiful and smart woman in our panel on the stage. I'm looking forward for this.
Thank you. Thank you, Nelly.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.